Hi.
Good evening. Happy almost Friday. We're
I
recording later in the week
know.
this week. So I kind of like this vibe because it's like I'm very
hmm
excited. It's almost Friday. Exciting.
I'm so excited. And shout out to my sponsors of the pod, my sister and my mom, for upgrading my lighting and my
Is that how
camera.
you do it? That's how you do it?
Oh, no, that's ours. I don't know. I think theirs is like this. Oh, finally. I think it's like this. I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
have arthritis. I can't do that.
No, it's very hard. I don't get these
Like,
young kids and their hearts. I'm like,
no, I have arthritis. I'm
but
not
no.
trying that.
Shout out to them. I have a little guest today,
The
Benito.
cutest. So cute.
My friend dropped him off, so I'm gonna be watching him for the weekend. Him
Is
and
Tamika
Tamika
being
did beef.
friendly? Is she being
No,
nice? Oh,
no.
okay.
But she did use his vacation house to go to Stagecoach, so she needs to be nice to him because he is kind of nice to her there.
We'll
They have
take
a love-hate.
coexisting. We'll take coexisting. That's it. That's
Yes.
it.
But I hope after this weekend they are besties. So we'll see.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. I have a little icebreaker for us.
Okay.
I got this idea because I was on TikTok doom scrolling one night, and I think it was Andy, but it was somebody asking the housewives what line of theirs that people always say to them when they see them in the wild.
Okay, okay.
So I'm going to give you some housewives, and you tell me the first thing that comes to mind when you hear these names.
Okay.
All right. So, my good sis Teresa.
Is bitch better?
Ah, that's a good one. Lisa Barlow.
Oh my God. Like with Lisa Barlow, all that comes to mind is her tone of voice. It's like
Yes,
not
yes, 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 yes.
necessarily, if I had to say Lisa, I want to go the distance on this.
Mine is it's like not a phrase. I just always picture her in the van doing this.
Right, right. That's why I'm like with Lisa, she's an embodiment of herself. It's
Yes.
bigger than a
Oh my
line.
God. I commented on her TikTok and she sent me hearts back.
She does that. Like there's a
I loved
handful
it.
of them that are like, I love when
Yeah, I
people do that.
loved it. I was like, my sad sister, I love you. And she sent me like the little pink hearts. Teresa, mine is daughters.
Jorders is a
Daughters.
classic. And
Or
also
ingredients
ingredients
is.
is
Ingredients. Every time I cook, I'm like ingredients is, or if I get
ingredients
cumin,
is
I'm like cumin.
cumin, come in, come in.
Come in, come in. Okay, Luann.
Oh, Luann. She came downstairs in these Herman Munster shoes.
So mine is not really.
Oh,
Anytime I need to say not really, I'm like, not really.
everybody was so stuck on uncool, be cool.
It was
The real
not
star of
really.
that interchange was the not really.
Not really.
Like,
Or I always love well, honey, Louis Vuitton makes mistakes
even
too.
Louis Vuitton makes mistakes.
Kyle.
Ooh, Kyle Richards. I don't want to be mean, but what comes to mind is you're a goddamn alcoholic. That's
That
always
was
going to
that
come to
was the
mind
scene
about.
where I had solid proof as to why I hated Kyle Richards. The whole season, I had
Ooh,
vibes.
I hate to go
That
off
gave me proof.
topic, but I mean that's what we do. So listen, I fall asleep every night to the Amazon Prime Housewives
You
channel.
love
I'm
that.
not ashamed to say that. And right now they're rerunning Brandy's first season of Housewives. Is that season one? It's not season one.
I think it's like two or three that she came in. It might have been two. I think she was friend of two, housewife three. I think it's something like that.
Well, they run it like a novella, so we've escalated in the seasons very
Oh
quickly.
no, Brandy started it with
Okay.
Sheena,
Either way,
right?
either way, it
Whatever.
no, because in the first season, she doesn't come on to season two because
You're right. She
It's the
started
Camille
Vanderpump
grammar.
Rules.
Yes. So, anyways, it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, I guess. I was just saying it's her first season for frame of reference. They run it like a novella, so escalates in seasons pretty quickly. So when I started off the week, it was Brandy's first season. I'm now at the point where um they go to Paris and Kyle is starting to feel the shift between her and Lisa Vanderpump because at that previous reunion, Kyle made the statement that being friends with Lisa was like playing chess with Bobby Fischer.
Uh-huh.
And so anyways, my point is it is wild to rewatch that because obviously when I first watched that, I was probably in my early 20s. I'm a bit older now.
Stop, you two.
It is
Stop.
wild to rewatch that and see how mean Kyle was to Brandy and how
She's
far
evil.
gone Kim was that like when she was deep in it.
Yeah, no.
They
Kyle
went to
is
the back.
not a nice person.
Also, the $25,000 sunglasses
Oh, Dana
lady,
Wilkie.
insane. I didn't realize how thirsty she was to like be friends with them and how she was just saying a bunch of nothing. Like she was pulling Kim to the side,
Literally,
was like,
her house looked empty but had a bunch of bullshit in it. It was the
yes.
strangest thing.
She was pulling Kim to the side, like, hey, I'm here for you. You wanna go on vacation? Let's do it. Camille, if you ever don't have your family in town and you want to have friends over, I'm your girl.
It
It
was,
was so
she was so
weird.
strange. She was so strange.
Anyways, okay.
My favorite Kyle thing, and I say this for anything, is you're a fucking liar, Camille.
It's it's
And
the
people
it's the tongue diction in the Camille. Like she
and people always look at me like my name's not Camille, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. You're a fucking liar.
you know what? 'Cause
Um,
again, this is fresh in my mind. Camille would not come up off the fact that she told her you are insignificant without your husband.
yes.
Anyway, what a time. What a
Um,
time.
Giselle.
What comes to
Nothing
mind?
comes to mind. Nothing comes to mind.
I
Nothing.
just like her whack taglines. The word on the
I
street
think,
is I'm the word on the street. Like that's all
okay,
I
so
can
she
think
said
of.
that, and people in the comments like, Giselle, no one comes up to you and says that.
Nobody says it, but like what else? Like what does
I
I can't
have
think of an
nothing. All I
iconic.
can think
Wait,
of
let me
is
think. Let me think. Let me give this a good 5 seconds. Hold on.
you can have 10.
Oh, she's said like a funny thing or two about like Chris and his big draws.
Oh,
But like again, that's me really reaching far into the vault here.
my thing that come when I think of Giselle is not Giselle. It is Karen saying she had a hot pocket in Sing
Now,
Sing.
Karen, I can think of a lot of things. I can think of a lot of things.
Oh
And
my God, I
Karen,
didn't even put Karen on this list. The next one is Phaedra.
Phaedra, well, obviously the iconic read to Kenya Moore about ejaculating in a cup so
Hmm.
that you can have a
Do you know
baby.
what? Mine is very random. But when she says, "Oh no, not burgalicious," from the traitors.
Oh, also too, from Ultimate Girls Trip when she was like, "Now you got to respect your elder. She could be your whatever she said."
And
And
she goes,
Brandy goes,
she's 5 years
"No,
older
she."
than me. Because
And
Brandy
then
gives young.
also, I was fucking with her this episode. I mean, we'll talk about it in a sec. But when they asked her in this week's episode, like, so your wig was unglued, and she's like, ask them hoes in Beverly Hills about their
Oh,
wigs.
I
So
love that.
I said,
She's like,
word,
don't be asking me about that. I said, my
period,
queen.
period.
Nene.
Oh, Nene has so many. I mean, there's the obvious. I still got to get this watch. But one of my favorite Nene, like not something it's not she's not iconic for it, but it was when they went on that trip with Kim's friend down to Miami and they stayed in that weird
Oh.
house and she was like, wig, go on, wig.
Mine is because me and Chandler say this to each other all the time. So nasty and so rude.
She just has so
So
many.
nasty
She
and
has so
so rude.
many. We good.
Um,
We see each other.
Dada. And then the last one is Kimsey. Because I've been saying this a lot lately, so tell
Dorit.
me yours. No, Chris Z. Kim Zolciak. I don't know where I got Chris from.
Oh, Kim Zolciak. Um, oh well, I have a needy one for Kim. Well, what is Lindsay Lohan's daddy doing here? What is Kim doing hanging out with Lindsay Lohan's
Slaying
daddy?
Daddy.
Let me see. With Kim, gosh, a line from Kim. I don't know. You know, I can't stand her.
So my favorite one, because I put her on here because I've been saying this every time I see a man. Thank you, Big Papa. Anytime a man, like I'll be driving and a man will let me over, I'm like, thank you, Big
Do you know what
Papa.
I always hear from Kim? My name was on the list. Nini's
He
wasn't.
wasn't.
Oh my God, talk about embarrassing. So, obviously my TikTok algorithm is like 60% housewife stuff. And there was a clip going around of season one of Housewives of Atlanta, and Sheree, it's her divorce party, and this man is singing to her, and it just goes on so much longer than needs to
Cherie,
go
I
on.
just saw that on my algorithm and I thought, I do not remember watching this in real time. I like wiped that out of my memory.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad. And Sheree gets put in situations like that a lot. Like she has these grand parties where she's like center of attention and it's just long and let's just talk about Atlanta since we're already down there.
Let's go to Atlanta. That's a great, actually, that was next on my note list.
I mean,
Um,
I thought it
10
was a
out of
10 out of
10
10. Yeah,
episode.
I thought it was
No
a great
notes.
episode.
Loved it from start to finish. I was engaged. I was enthralled. I said, oh my God, my bitches are back.
Yeah, I was really I was entertained. I will say I'm over this whole Shamia Drew issue. I don't care
They're
whatever.
beefing?
Yeah, the whole beginning of the episode was basically Shamia saying, like, can we let bygones be bygones? They try to let bygones be bygones, and then Drew says, yeah, and if you could basically stop your mother from approaching me at events.
Oh, you know, I don't like Shamia. I only liked her when she was Portia's sidekick. Once I got a full dose of her, I said, I'm not interested. So I kind of block her out. Not gonna
That's what
lie.
I'm saying. That's what
That's on me.
I don't want to spend any more time on this as a whole because I don't care about a feud between Shamia and Drew. I do not
It
care.
was so, and this is my thing. You know, I love my mama down. That's my bitch for real. But if she's on this show getting in mess, I can't really pull the don't talk about my mom card. You know what I mean?
I would have been very embarrassed if my mother did what Shamia's mom did. It's like,
Well,
why
yeah,
are you even in this? Like, please. And
it was weird. It was
like,
like, and then when Drew was like, "Oh, I don't want a family gang or a generational gang up or whatever she said," I understand that. Like, did I think it needed to be said? No, but I get why she said it because it was a gang up. And then for Shami to act like she said, "And yo ho ass mama," like,
and then it's like, obviously, I can't be disrespectful or say what I want to say to your mother about you or about her approaching me
because I
because
would
I
have
was
said, "Bitch, shut
raised
up."
correctly. So it's just like, this is dumb. Um, why did they make these women go cow? Why are they cosplaying cowboys? Like they understand that people don't dress like this in Dallas, right? Portia had her
Okay,
full titticus out.
this is gonna be mean because I've been known to dress, not a lot of clothes. It's kind of my
Sure,
brand.
sure, sure.
I think I hate everything about Kelly. She's always half dressed. Her titties are, remember last year, where did they go? They
Drew
went
ate. Drew
somewhere.
ate with misproportioned.
No, she did because I do not like looking at Kelly. And you know what makes me mad about that? I could tell her original Kelly 1.0 was probably T as fuck. She probably was one of the most gorgeous women I've ever seen. These titties, and they're always out, and I'm a boob girl, but it's too much. And when Drew said, I don't like Drew, but she ate with this. But she's like, but you look so beautiful. Like, don't be mad. We're gonna get it fixed. And Kelly's like, well, you look ugly. And I said, no, no. You're trying to reheat Nini's nachos at the pajama party when Kenya said, Nini, you
You
look
know,
beautiful. You know.
you know.
Stop it. Kelly is so, not only is she misproportioned, but she's also such a fucking tryhard. Her and that Shamia. I want them gone.
That's the
I need them gone.
thing.
Get off my TV screen.
They
You're
are
not iconic.
they are wearing Cynthia out about this fucking
Wait,
Airbnb.
when Cynthia's like, you guys, it's gonna be clean. I've called them when we get back. And then I think it was Shamia or Kelly was like, it better be. If Cynthia, I think because Cynthia was just too exhausted, I would have said, and what the fuck are you gonna do if it isn't? You gonna whoop my ass?
She
What do you mean it
is
better be?
much nicer than me because the thing is this. We've all stayed in a rental or an Airbnb. I think this is a little bit deeper than Airbnb, but we've all stayed
Yeah.
in a rental at this point in life at this point. I've certainly rented Airbnbs before where I'm like, there's a cleanliness issue in here, unfortunately. And that's just because I've stayed in a lot of Airbnbs in my life. But you know, it's not easy to get them to come all the way back and rectify the situation,
It's not a
especially
hotel.
it seems like they're far out in Dallas somewhere. It's
They
taking
are
them
in the
forever
country.
to, yeah. So this is again, this is not comparable to Potomac and what happened with Angel and her situation at
Yeah, no, it's
all.
not the same thing.
Because it's not even close to the same thing. Because for one,
Because no one probably stays in that house, so they probably don't clean it. They probably thought it was clean from whenever the months ago someone stayed in it, because it's clearly like an extra thing.
Cynthia is not from Dallas. She knows nothing about Dallas. She knows not all she
She's
knows
not
is
claiming
what
to
you
be a
guys
Dallas
know.
expert.
So why is this coming up over and over? And it's just like, yeah, I think Cynthia said this and she hit the nail on the head. This isn't just about the status of the room. This is about the fact that Shamia's pissed that she's not in the big house and she thinks she's not in the big house because you like Portia more than you like her. That's what this all comes down to, if you ask me.
And she does like Portia more than you. But guess
She
what?
known her longer.
You were, yes, she's known her longer. They've been through a lot together. You were her sidekick. And Shamia, and I'm so sick of these very rich women thinking that because they have so much money and they can wear designer head to toe every day, that they should be given everything on these shows. No, ma'am, you still need to be iconic because we've had women who didn't have a lot of money that have been iconic. It's not, you can't buy
Yeah.
your way into housewives. You
Well, I
can,
mean,
but no, you can, but to be an iconic housewife, you have to also be iconic. You can't just have money. That doesn't
yeah,
fly.
and like I feel like Shamia is like trying too hard to get these like soundbite moments or these moments that are gonna become
Everything,
memes
she's like
or
Amaya from Love Island. Everything she says, all her confessionals, is to have a meme, to have a soundbite. I'm done. I'm sick. I'm
well, and
done.
also, can I just say the whole shot o'clock thing is bugging me. That is what the baddies say. Like Natalie Nunn and her
Batty
girls.
batty shot o'clock.
Yes, so what are we doing? Like be yourself, Shamia. You're in
No
your
one's original.
40s. No, that's and like you're watching baddies and taking their lingo. Do
And Shamia,
better.
they're making me like Drew. You know I've been a day one Drew hater, but Drew is really doing it for me this season.
She looks
I
great. She looks
Oh, she's always
amazing.
been gorgeous.
She looks great. She's
And
kind of
she's being
wait, well,
funny.
speaking of Drew, is it me or is K Michelle like reaching for an issue with this black thing?
I think they're both reaching with each other. When came the like first or second episode, Drew was like, "Oh, she sang or she does sing maybe." I don't know. I'm like, "That's weird." And then the whole black thing is weird. I'm like, "Ladies, ladies, ladies, enough." Enough.
Why is this
I feel
even
like they could be
a
a
conversation?
good I feel like they could be a good force together. Like there could be two singers or three in the group if we count
You
Shamia.
know what I thought about today? And I mean, this could just be me reaching here, but it did cross my mind because K. Michelle mentioned that the girls of Atlanta made it hard for her to exist the last time she was there.
Hip
What we
hop.
what we all know though, like behind the scenes, is that who I believe she's referring to anyways in that statement is her tenure on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And for those
Started
that
taking
don't,
hits.
yeah, and for those that don't know, when she was on that show, she was on that show with a non-factor rapper named Rashida Frost,
I rap like
who,
Shawty Low.
yes, and they did not get along because K. Michelle was in an abusive relationship with a man who at the time was married to Rashida's good friend slash Lil Wayne's ex-baby mama,
No, ex-wife.
ex-wife, I'm sorry,
His
ex-wife,
only wife. She's
Toya.
very proud of that.
Whatever. She was her ex was K Michelle's ex was now
Oh yeah,
married
Memphis.
Memphis to Lil Wayne's ex-wife. The two live crew in Atlanta at that time, from what I remember on social media, was Candy Burris
Mm-hmm.
Todd, because Todd and her were fairly newly wedded when they were all hanging out together. So it was Candy, it was Todd, it was Rashida, it was Kirk and his earring, it was Toya and Memphis, it was RL from Next and his wife Lena, and they've made pop-ins and out on Love on Real Housewives here and there. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, I'm bringing all this up to say, I wonder if K Michelle has been approached about this show before, but maybe Candy and her had beef because it's like there's no way you were ruined in Atlanta by Rashida.
Who's a fucking nobody. Sorry.
Right. And Rashida,
Pretty,
even
but a
though,
nobody. A pretty nobody.
and I again, I'm not from Atlanta. I don't know what kind of like action she has in the streets or whatever the fuck. But my point is, we know that Candy is Miss Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I just wonder. I don't
Honestly,
see Candy as a mean girl though.
no, I don't think Candy's a mean girl, but she is a Taurus and they're very like,
Loyal.
yeah, and
Because remember,
stuck in their
again, for
ways.
those who don't know, the entire issue was that K. Michelle alleged that Toya's husband at the time, K. Michelle's ex-fiance, Memphis, had some DV issues, that he was physically harmful to her. And on national TV, Rashida said, I don't believe you. That's not the
Because
person
he's
I
so
know.
nice to Toya. But then Toya came out and said what he didn't, he wasn't physical with her. She did say he was verbally not
And
nice.
aggressive. I think she did
Yeah. And I
concede to the
think
fact that he
we
was
saw
kind of
it on her
aggressive.
show. I didn't watch
Yeah.
her show
I watched her show when it was on BET here and there, the one she had with Tiny, and then she had another one, I think
with
on
her and
E!
Ray.
Oh, yeah, and at that time, they seemed really happy. Clearly that was just a front because she said
Yeah.
years later that yeah, it was a terrible marriage, but she was writing for him at the time. I mean, remember, I don't know if you remember, she went on the Reel and said
Yeah.
K Michelle was a liar and she
Oh no,
needed
I
to
know.
her
They dragged her through the mud
yeah.
about her experience. And it's like, I think once a beater, always a beater, but I can see how someone can do it with one and maybe not the next, but then maybe others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, just because he doesn't treat you that way doesn't mean that wasn't her experience.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. So anyway,
But,
that was just a little, for people that don't know, that was just a little
but
background.
yeah, I could see that. And Andy does love him some candy, so I can see him making choices. Because I feel like I've heard K Michelle or Andy or somebody saying they've been trying to get K Michelle
I
for a
thought
couple
I
of
thought
years.
maybe Andy said that. I thought that, but
I
I
feel
could
like
be
I've heard
wrong.
that.
I could be
I'm
wrong.
not I'm not sure.
Wait, is it just me, or did you think about Nene when Phaedra said she rode dressage or whatever that word was? And remember when they went to the rodeo on like, oh, not the rodeo, they went to some kind of like horse event, polo, something like that on Phaedra's first season. And she was like, yes, I was an equestrian. It was her, Dwight, Cynthia, Peter, Nene, and
Don't remember
Greg in
that.
a limo. And Nene goes, imagining Phaedra riding a horse. Okay. Like, do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that, but when she said that, I was like, you rode a horse?
No,
And then she showed a picture.
she has
I was
brought this
like,
up before. She has brought this up before. She loves to tell people that.
because it's very like she, especially like doing the what is that English style writing is very like
Yeah, it is very like high class. It's
yeah, like high society.
yes, that's why she wants everybody to know. But that's pretty much it. I mean, oh, well, at the very end of the episode, you get the battle of the homewreckers, Portia, Portia and Kelly. And what we learned in that exchange is both of them like married men.
What I learned was Portia slept with R. Kelly. But this is my thing.
With who?
You with R.
Oh,
Kelly.
I kind of figured that because she mentioned a few seasons ago that she was writing her book and she had to revisit the fact that, she had interactions with him when she was trying to be a singer back in the day, I guess. I just assumed because it's R. Kelly that
Yeah.
slept
Yeah.
with them. I mean, I hate
This
to
is
say
my
that.
thing. You cannot read me with tea I have already shown and published.
We have been taught that
That's
from the
weird.
book of Funky Dineva.
Yeah, that's
Don't ever
weird.
let somebody spray you with your own tea.
Okay. Oh, she slept with R. Kelly. Yeah, as Portia said, thanks for the book sale.
And like, given R. Kelly's current reputation, I don't think that's like a read. I think we feel sorry for women that had
I
anything
was
to
just
do
gonna
with it.
say,
Like,
it's for me, it was like sympathy, like, did he do something to you? Are you okay? It wasn't like, oh, you're a loser. You slept with R. Kelly. I had sympathy for Portia,
well, let me
but
tell
I
you
also
what
love
took
Portia.
let me tell you what took me out. When Kelly had the unmitigated gall to say she married that Carl Winslow lookalike in the ill-fitted suit that we see circulating on the internet. You married him for love. I will believe that when I see a pig fly above me.
Kelly is an opportunist. I can't even talk about her anymore because I just can't be on camera dragging a black woman this hard. I hate her. There, I said it.
I
And now we said
question
it.
how she got casted for this show because she gives nothing. We get no home scenes with her. I mean, I know she can't film with her kids, but what else is
She,
going on?
to me, is like Gina and Emily. How are
Oh,
you still, if you can get cast, then my poor ass can get cast then. Put me
no.
on Beverly Hills and we're just out here casting poor bitches.
No, literally. And
And they're
doing
all three so boring,
Oh, I can't wait for
so
Orange County.
uninteresting.
I know like people don't fuck with Orange County that much
No, I
anymore,
love it.
but I can't wait. I
I
can't
cannot
wait.
wait. I cannot wait for Orange County. Do you want to go to
Um,
Rhode Island?
I was gonna say we could even go to the Valley and get that out of the way. Speaking of Orange County, since what's her name is like besties with Gretchen.
The Valley is bleak.
Let's just like get that out of the way. So the Valley was dark as usual.
It's
Because
the darkest
Kristen,
show on television. It might be
yeah,
darker than Intervention.
honestly, like Kristen is still going through it, and that I do feel bad for her, like as a woman. I don't think people anticipate what it's like to have children after the age of like 35.
You know,
And
my thing is, I don't think it's talked about postpartum enough. I will always say this. When your sister had Julian, and I went to your guys' house and I visited her, she was maybe a week postpartum, if anything, and she still looked pregnant. And I was like, I mean, I didn't say anything to her. But then I go to my mom, I was like, Denisha still looks pregnant. She was just so, because Denisha's a teeny tiny girl. Even like,
Mhm.
she bounced back probably within a month. My mom is like, yeah, your stomach doesn't go down just because you gave birth. Like, it took 9 months to get you there. And I was like, no one ever talks about that. And then hair falling out. No one talks about postpartum. You only talk about pregnancy and being a mom, as in raising a baby. And hearing these women in their postpartum journeys and seeing it with like my personal friends, I'm like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
I need to be
Yeah.
a lot nicer to my mom.
Yeah, it's a lot, especially in when you're talking about somebody like Nia, who has had so many children back to back.
Probably within 5 years, she's had 4 kids.
Yeah, and it's hard hormonally to snap back. I feel like especially when you have them so close together, your body's probably just recuperated from the last when you're getting pregnant
Well, they
again.
say it takes 18 months for your body to really, like everything to be back in place. You shouldn't have kids until after 18 months, which is like, wow, that's a long time.
Well, the good news is I do truly believe Kristen has a supportive partner. Like, I do think Luke is in this for the long haul. I don't
Yeah,
know that he's in LA for the long haul, and I
no.
do not see Kristen ever moving to Colorado, so that's an interesting bridge that they'll have to cross.
I've done it. 10 out of 10 would not recommend.
Yeah, like
And he
I
lived in
don't
the wilderness.
yeah, like he's out there. Like out there. So I don't see that happening. We luckily didn't get any Janet drama this episode, so I was happy about that. She's slowly but surely starting to ease her way back into the group, which I will take because it's
Yeah.
never fun to watch a show where you guys are completely outcasting one person. Either get
No,
them off
it's
the
too much, and I
cast
don't like
or
it.
reintegrate them.
Yeah,
Everybody
it's too
has to be
much.
forgiven for something. She didn't steal from you, like she talked a little shit. It's fine. So we didn't get
And
any of
your
her.
husband is a creep. He did do that.
Let's just talk about it.
So
Let's just talk about it because that's really the only thing that happened in this boring ass episode. I
I
mean,
just want to say I love Lacey.
yeah, we got
I think I'd
Michelle
say
and
that.
Lacey, and I think Lacey understands where Michelle is coming from, having gone through divorce herself. And
Hmm.
I was glad that she did acknowledge to Michelle, he had no business sharing these messages
Yeah.
with me. And
I think she wants to be Michelle's friend
I
more than
think
she
so
wants to date
too. Like
Jesse.
I don't think she likes Jesse. I think
No,
she
she
wants to be
hates
friends
him.
with these women.
She hates him.
Yeah, there's like she's not interested. So, that's really all that happened though. Her and Michelle have some back and forth. Michelle is like, "No, you don't get to tell me what was okay and what was not okay at that time because you did not understand how that man was treating me." And finally Lacey was like, "You're right. Like, you're right. I don't."
Which I was like, thank you, Lacey.
Because
Like,
Lacey was
let's
just upset that
wash
she
this.
went after her looks. Like she just wanted
Yes,
her to be like, bitch, you had no right to call me the names that you called me. But what Michelle was trying to say and was doing a bad job articulating was, you got hit in the crossfire. It was
you were
never
collateral
about you.
damage.
Yeah.
I really didn't give a fuck about you. I just really hate that man.
Yeah. And we made an agreement that he broke by introducing my child to
Which
you.
was probably his agreement to begin with. He
Mm-hmm.
probably brought that up because
Mm-hmm.
I have liked Jesse in the past because he's funny, he's a good villain, but he is a terror, and I would hate for him to be my ex-husband.
Oh, yeah, he's great TV, but I mean, having lost a parent myself, I don't respect how he treated her, knowing that she
No,
was losing her
that was
mother.
disgusting. I've never lost a parent, but it's my greatest fear, and it was disgusting how he handled that.
I just don't fuck with that. And it was just like her mother was literally dying of cancer,
And her mom got sick out of nowhere.
and he was like at his worst with her when this was going on.
Yes. Oh, well, I don't think she should be around sick people. That's a woman that has taken care of her, and your daughter is very close with. She knows her grandma very personally. She's
And
not like you know what I mean?
it's Michelle's only family, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So she's losing, like, yeah, this little girl needs to know this person. I just
And I'm
didn't,
sorry, I don't think it's ever too young to learn about death.
it's life. You have to, like, you're going to encounter it when you're young or when you're older, but either way, it's something you have to face.
I was
Um,
going to funerals at like 6.
yeah, you don't understand it completely, but like, you
Yeah, but my
understand
parents,
that,
explained it on a child's
yeah,
mind, for a
yeah.
child's brain.
But the crux of the episode is like what a drag it is to watch Danny and Nia. Like, this guy is the actual worst, and it's like what I like about what's being shown about a guy like Danny is we're so used to seeing villains that are outright assholes like Jax,
Yeah,
like
very
Kyle.
in your face, like
Yeah, like just terrible. Tom Sandoval, um, Kyle Cook at times. Like we're used to seeing these guys that are dirt bags. The new dirt bags are packaged as nice Christian men. And they wear this cloak of like, I'm Christian, I have morals, I have values, I would never harm you, I'm never gonna put
I'm
you.
God-fearing.
But then they have these chauvinistic asshole tendencies that eventually start to bleed out. And Danny, it's taken 3 seasons for what people have been saying about Danny to fully reveal itself. We saw it
To
some
have
last
hard
season.
evidence. Well, this is
Yeah.
what I say about men and religion. When white men or even white people are overly religious, it scares me because I think religion should be for people of color because we have gone through things, so we look to religion to, get us through tough times. When white men are overly religious, it's scary because they're usually the worst type. And I think Danny is a perfect example of that because the way he speaks to his wife and the way he is so uninterested in that baby, to me, Jesus would be like, oh, no, 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 this is not what I stand for. Like,
What's scary
how
to
could you?
me is how calm it
It's,
leaves him.
I
It
would
it
rather a man scream angry than to be like, this is a competition. What are you asking me for? Just in like an even tone, like, you're scary. You're scary.
it's like he doesn't like her as a person.
No. And
And
Sheree, I have dated men who do not like me as people. And let me tell you, it is worse than anything else in life.
yeah, and I just she's so used to it. You can tell she's really used to it because
Yeah, she's
she
desensitized.
yeah, it's really sad to watch. It's like one of the most blatant examples of verbal, like, I'm not gonna say he's abusing her, that's a strong allegation, but he's certainly not kind to her. He certainly
He's
doesn't
not
treat
kind at
her.
all. He seems, his uninterest in that baby is so gross to me because I know that if it was a boy, he would probably be acting similar to this, not trying to do, normal parent things. But he's like, you brought the baby. But I
Well, this
bet
is
you if that
something
was a
else.
son,
This is
he'd be like,
something
my
else.
son.
Well, I don't know. I don't even know if it's that because this to me all comes down to something else that like a man is not understanding about a woman and his child. Your child doesn't take a bottle.
Baby has to
So
come with me or
even
it's
if
starving.
you have the nanny there, a baby that young is eating probably every 2.5 to 3 hours. So
Hmm.
even if you have the nanny there, this baby's on the tit every 2.5 to 3 hours. Then what do babies do? They fall asleep on the tit. So now you have to put the baby down, and you wanted the baby to stay down and stay asleep so that you can actually enjoy your trip and go back to your husband who also wants to be your baby. I said on Threads, and I mean it. Danny wants a wife and children. He does not want to be a husband or a father.
No,
And
and
there's a
most men
lot
do
of men
not.
out there like that.
Most, that's why I say when I look, because I'm very single. So when I look for partners, I look for a man who will be a good father, who wants to be a father. Because I do not care to be a mother enough to do it alone. And
Yeah.
knowing like, like a lot of people, there's signs of things with men, and a lot of the times men don't show signs. And I really wonder what was it like for Danny and Nia when they were dating? Like, did he show subtle signs that you just thought, oh, I might be reading too much into this? Or was he like the perfect man? Like, I really
Well,
want to
but the
know.
thing is, she's super Christian too. And like when you look at shows in comparison, like Welcome to Plathville, where they're kind of like
Hmm.
extreme Christians, and you look
Yeah.
at the son, Olivia and Ethan, you guys, if you're not checking out TLC's Welcome to Plathville,
Okay,
like
I need to get back into it.
it is so good. But you look at a situation like that, and it took Olivia a while to see, like, oh, this man is toxic and he's
Hmm.
nuts because she grew up the same way he grew up. She was conditioned to think that a man like
Yeah.
him, yeah. So I
Like,
think
oh, that's normal.
because didn't
No.
they meet like at Bible study or something? Her and him,
Something like that. It was like something church related where for them this was all very normal for them. That
yeah.
normal in their culture, their society, their world. So you wouldn't like why would she think that's bad? She probably saw her mom and dad like that or aunts or grandparents, you know what I mean?
And in the beginning, how that can show up and look is like, oh, I love a man that takes control.
Hmm.
And in Christianity, a lot of the time you'll hear women say, I want a man that can lead me and God will lead the both of us. And I want a God-fearing man because if my husband gives me direction, it's going to be coming from God. And a lot of
Hmm.
men that are manipulative will use that tactic to control their wives and do whatever the fuck they want to
Religion
do.
is the easiest way to control people.
Yeah. So that sucks for me for her. Lala
But
had
this is
to end
also
up
my thing
uh-huh.
with people, and not just Danny and Nia, because I could drag Danny till I run out of breath.
Mhm.
But this is not your first child. We saw how hard it was for you. And I've been thinking about this a lot today because I had to clean out my fridge. I had a whole Bloody Mary situation back there.
Oh no.
And yeah, and
Mhm.
I'm like, Did you think that maybe this was just like this is just having babies tough? Because I fear if a man isn't good with an infant or a toddler, he's not going to be good when they get bigger.
Oh
You'll just
yeah.
notice it less because the child now needs less because they're independent. But I'm like, you saw how he had you living in 1,200 square feet with three kids. In what world did you think you should add a fourth?
Well, and look, he eventually got his way. He's been saying since we first laid eyes on them, he wants to move to Santa Clarita.
Which is in the middle of goddamn nowhere.
She was
That is not even the
vehemently
valley. That is
against
like,
it. And what happened? He got her out there. So,
I don't
I
even know if
mean,
that's LA County still.
no, I think it's like Ventura County.
I
I
don't
could
know how to
be
look it
wrong.
up.
I don't know. I don't know.
Is it even Ventura County?
I don't know. But I mean, enough of them. That's really all that happened. Oh, Lala Lauren from Utah ended up
It's its
going
own county.
Santa Clarita.
Oh no, sorry, that's Claire. Never mind. Go on.
Oh, okay. Lauren from Utah ends up interjecting nanny Danny berating his wife. Nia puts together a drag show basically where each woman has paired up with
Don't
one of
call it drag.
whatever. Each woman has paired up with each of the guys and they're gonna get them dressed in, their evening finest. And so Nia is balancing the baby in another part of the house and finally gets the baby down. And Danny has drank way too much that day. That's his other issue is he has a drinking issue and he doesn't know how to fucking act when he gets alcohol
Oh,
in
he
him.
got that rude off of White Claws. Like, how
Right,
embarrassing.
right. And so she's trying
4%.
to get him together and get his makeup and everything going. And the entire time he is just berating her. And Lala's, walking back and forth and observing it. And she comes and ends up interjecting and telling him basically, you need to stop talking to her like that. And by the way, it's very triggering for me. And while I could argue that she made it about herself in that moment, I feel like that's what he needed to hear, and that's what needed to be done. Because Jesse's bitch ass was sitting in another room just allowing it to happen. What could have happened is Jesse could have been like, hey man, why don't you take a chill pill, separate yourself
Jesse
for a
was
moment.
literally like, and when Maya, I'm not Maya, who is Maya? When, oh, probably something Maya's dog. When Lala went in there and was talking about it, Jesse was just like, yeah, like another day. And I was like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, he kind of was like, yeah, he talks to her like that all the time. I
kind
mean,
of like,
mm,
oh, you thought that was weird? I
yeah.
thought that was a Tuesday.
Yeah, he talks to her like that all the time. I mean, who am I to interject? I don't like to get in
But
the
I
way of
was
a husband and his
happy
wife.
that Lala said something because I'm sorry, do what you want in your home. But we're on camera and I'm in the same house as you. I don't want to hear a man speak to his wife like that. That is disgusting behavior. You're a fucking sicko. You're drunk. You're short. You're poor. And you're talking to me like that?
Well, and we've said
This
this
fucking
before.
goddess,
This
sweet
is
woman?
why I don't like group trips with couples. There's
Oh,
always a
yeah.
couple in the group that is going to bring everybody else down. And literally, this entire San Diego trip has been about Kristen and Luke and Danny and Nia.
Yep.
And I just wouldn't be able to take that if I was like the rest of everybody else. I don't want to be in married people's business.
I will say it again, and I'll say it every week. I am sick of these babies and kids. I'm
Oh,
sick
that's
of
the other
seeing them.
thing. That's the other thing. Like, why
Enough.
I understand that Nia and Kristen's babies are young. I get it. But it's just like I wouldn't want to be bothered with it all the time. I'm just being honest. I wouldn't.
Like, enough.
I
Enough
wouldn't.
with the babies. I'm sick of hearing about breastfeeding. I'm sick of hearing about I did not sign up for this on this show. I thought I was going to see marriages crumble and not newborns. These women needed more of a break. They came back too soon.
Yeah, maybe
We're
that's what it
corporate
is.
America. Maternity leave is not 6 weeks. It's not 3 months. You need 6 months minimum. Your body is not even healed, let alone you're taking care of a newborn.
Yeah.
I'm sick of
Yeah.
it. Enough. It's bleak.
Yeah, and then it's like Kristen's talking about her heavy periods, and it's like again,
I
I'm a
don't want to hear
woman. I don't
that.
think there's anything wrong with talking about it, but it's just like,
I think I would rather hear about what's going on postpartumly because I do think it needs to be talked about. If I didn't always have to be seeing the babies. And I'm not even a baby hater. I actually love a newborn. It's my
yeah,
favorite form
I don't
of
mind
child.
babies. I don't mind babies.
I literally love newborns, but I just to see I think it's just a lot. It's just very depressing. It's
Well,
sad.
let's talk about people who aren't going to be having babies probably anytime soon. Let's talk about Southern hospitality since that was like semi on
Talk
the same
about
line.
another bleak show. Wednesday, sure, last night. I just was so I was like, oh brother.
Well, I watched Southern Hospitality today while I was working. I mean, while I was working.
What
So
was he doing at work too?
like I couldn't like I just can't do both back to back. But I mean, we start the episode back with Michael's basically confronting Emmy about how uncomfortable he is around her these days because of the fact that she's still copping pleas about the fact that she's acting like a racist Karen. And Emmy was touching her hair so much. Like if she would have done this anymore, she was gonna bald herself. She was
So
doing this so much in
I
these scenes.
do I've now realized that that is a thing for ADHD because I have a friend who is always doing this, like always touching her hair, always just literally like it's like insane. And I'm a hair toucher, but it's like, and she has ADD or ADHD, one of those. They're very similar, but I think that's like a thing with the brain, and it drives me insane. I was like, bitch, you are going to take all your hair out. Stop.
I think that might be true for your friend. I think in the case of Emmy and this scene, I think she was anxious, rightfully so, because she's in the hot seat once again for the things that come out of her mouth that are just completely untrue. And
I mean, you know what's crazy? Oh, sorry. Go finish.
no,
Sorry.
no, no. I was just gonna say, it just blows my mind that this man has come to you over and over again and told you these things never happened, Emmy. And I am losing sleep over this. Can you just admit that they never happened? And it's just like she won't come up off of it. I mean, she eventually does. We'll get there, but she eventually
That's the
does.
craziest part. That's what I was just gonna say. It is, Emmy is insane. First off, the look she gets in her eyes is like, it's scary. Like, Emmy
Yeah, the like
genuinely scares me. She gets
how
this, like,
quickly she can hyperventilate. Like,
oh my God. So, okay, when she was doing that, I started laughing and I said, am I laughing because I hate Emmy? And then I saw everyone else starting to laugh because it's insane. She hyperventilates, excuse me, has these white women tears, but no actual tears are coming out.
no, she's
This is
just
the
really
first
good.
time I
Like,
saw,
I know she has done this her whole life.
and this is not real tears because the mascara only willed here. She just eventually made herself well up. She probably thought about like a dead dog or something
She
that
probably
was
goes
like
out of
sad.
her way to not wear waterproof mascara because she needs the dramatic
Let
effect.
me tell you, I have become a crier later in life. I have never in my life worn waterproof mascara, and mascara has never done that to me. So I don't know what these women are doing, and I would love that because you know I love the drama. How is the mascara always running down your face? And I have cried, and it's gone just right here. I don't
I
get it.
think it's a mix of that and whatever eyeliner they wear, but I will say she has done this her whole life, I can tell, and
Yes.
it's not working here. Like nobody at that table was moved except for Joe Bradley, the other loser. Nobody at
I
that
don't even know if he
table
was moved.
Well, no, he was like low key copping pleas for her. Like, oh, this is just too much for one person. It's just a lot. I just want to help you remove yourself from the situation.
Yeah, when he
This
walked away with her, I was like, Joe, go walk into the ocean.
this is the bed. She's having to lie in it, Joe. That's just what it is. And then she kept saying, basically in so many words, I'm so glad Juan Dixon is not here right now. What the fuck is that man gonna do? Ain't nobody
Okay,
scared of Will.
Sheree, you're right. That's why it sounded so familiar. When she said that, I was like, yet him and your mom were in your hotel room, but you were so afraid of Brad.
Ain't nobody
He
scared of
was
Will.
there
Ain't
because
nobody scared of Will.
I don't have a man. You do. If a man was truly banging on your door, calling you a bitch, your man would be like, hey, homie, what the fuck? You got beef?
There's no way. There's just no way.
You're telling me your man heard all of this and just sat there like a little bitch?
She
But yet, if
could
he was here, all of a sudden he would get some balls?
Let me tell you something. He had a chance to be there at the reunion and left your ass by yourself to deal with
High and
Bradley.
dry, baby. High
High
because he
and
hates
dry.
you. He hates you.
He's now
He
left
is
you on
marrying
this
you
season.
because he has to.
He's
He
now left
said
you on this
verbatim,
season to deal with all of this yourself. This is all fallout from things that he has done.
because if he's so successful, you don't need this little reality TV check.
This is honestly the accountability that Stassi and Kristen needed that we didn't get to
Yeah,
see. This
because they just
is
fired him.
like people, white and of color alike, saying, no, bitch, you can't keep running from this.
And this is
You
what
are
kills me.
doing damage to a person's reputation for literally no reason. Well, it's
For
not
no,
no
this is,
reason, but
but this is Emmy. I was naked in the bathroom and he was banging on my door. First off, what does you being naked have to do with this if he's on the other side of the door? He doesn't want you. I was so afraid. Fast forward. I was never naked in my bathroom. See how easy this bitch lies? And then, okay, I kind of like blacked out because I was falling asleep because I was so tired yesterday. But then when she starts talking to Molly and start talking about with the whole Michaels thing, and I guess
wait, do you
Michaels
believe
lied.
that though? Do you believe that
Okay,
Michaels
refresh me
knew?
because I didn't care to rewind. My TV is very annoying in here in the living room. So what happened?
She basically said that because you know how Molly was fired.
Yeah. No. She was fired.
Molly's the blonde, right?
Yeah. She was
That
fired.
that Michaels got into it with earlier this season.
Oh. Yeah. I didn't know she was fired. I
Yeah,
thought
she
she was
got
fired.
fired. So she no longer works at Republic. And Emmy told her basically that not only did Michaels know about the firing, he agreed with it, basically. And
And that's so when I came to start paying attention again,
uh-huh.
she goes, he's an AGM, so he has to. And this is my thing. Now that I'm gathering information,
Mm-hmm.
and this happened right after Michael's was, I need to figure out his sign because that man is cold.
He
Unless it's about
is.
him, he is so cold. It's like
Is.
it's kind of insane. Um, I think she made that up or fudged it a bit.
Because he is so cold about people doing him dirty, I just don't see him being a giant hypocrite in that way. It would not
Yeah.
surprise me because I don't put anything past anybody, but I don't see him being someone that stands so staunchly and firmly on being honest and telling people how it is and then doing some underhanded shit like that.
I feel like he would have loved to throw that in her face. And that's why I agreed to getting you fired, especially when she showed up and he
Yeah.
was cussing her out. He's the type of messy bitch that'd be like, yeah, and I got you fired.
Yeah. Oh, I feel
He's
like, yeah.
because that's something I would do. I feel like I'm a messy bitch too. If I was beefing with somebody and I helped get them fired, I would throw it in their face because what's she gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, it was weird. And then in the previews for next week, he's like getting demoted. He gets an email saying like, we regret to inform you, basically he's no longer in that position. That was in the
You
preview.
know. I was gonna say something about Leva, but I'm just gonna keep it. I'm gonna.
I don't
She's
even
not
want
an
to speak her.
ally.
I don't want to speak her up. Like the things I've been seeing her do on social media to
She's
Black
not an
content
ally.
creators has been disgusting.
She's not an ally.
There's a content creator. I don't want to say his handle wrong, so let me make sure I say it right. Archie passed away.
No, he got. Hey, hey.
Okay, wait. So there's a content creator called
Wait, hold on.
Rupert.
Can we take a break really quick? I have to pee.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, we're back. So, I was saying there's this content creator. His name is Rupert the Baxter, and he basically was getting Leva together for her like performative allyship, and he made the
Southern
statement.
Charm.
Uh-huh. And how like basically we're not seeing that follow through with the Emmy situation. And he made the statement, I hope that your children never basically experience what
I
Brad's
saw
going
this.
through.
I saw this.
She's acting like he said something terrible about her
Like,
children
I
getting
hope your
essayed or
son.
something. Yeah, she is like, "Oh, don't you ever talk about my kids." And said, I'm paraphrasing, but she said something to that effect.
Yeah, it was. She said, "Keep." She said, "Don't you ever speak of my son's name or something." And I'm like, Leva, this is how I know you're not an ally and you're fake, which is sad because you have a very black presenting husband and your son looks black. You
Well,
are
I was
doing
like,
him
what
a
in the Uncle
disservice.
Tom is going on over at the Bonaparte home? Because I don't understand how obtuse Leva's being about this entire situation. I hope that Andy grills her at this reunion if she is bold enough to make an appearance.
Oh,
Because
she will because she is very. She has such a high sense of self, and it's like kind of wild to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
can I like listen? I am annoyed that Joe is so involved in Grace, Lily, and Maddie's friendship. Why
Dear.
does he keep acting like Grace has done something to him? I understand that
Because
Maddie's
he's nothing
your,
going on.
like,
He's a
why are you
loser.
so involved?
He's a fucking loser. He's nothing going on. He thinks he's Maddie. That's why, oh, well, I was traveling with Maddie. Doing what? She did not need you there. I cannot wait for her to dump him.
Well, I
Like,
definitely think that Grace Lily is not sober.
oh no. But,
I that's a sad thing to watch, and I think,
and we know that because she's been arrested twice this year.
yeah, it's
This
not,
year.
yeah, and like back to back, it was like one after the
Yeah.
other.
I think it was like
Um,
a month and a half in between. Like, that's kind of wild.
But that was them. Let's go to Rhode Island because Summer House is kind of heavy. Um,
Yeah, Rhode Island.
is the
I
news
love
reporter
Emmy.
lady pregnant?
In real time?
Yeah, because she's so nauseous and sick when this episode opens up, and they
Oh
were like,
no. Mm-mm. Someone said it's the Ozempic. I was listening to a podcast, they're like it's probably the
"Oh,
Ozempic. And Ozempic does make you sick to your stomach.
yeah." I was watching The Surreal Life a couple seasons ago, and Macy Gray was on there, and they were somewhere in South America, either like Colombia, something like that. But she was like, "Oh, I have food poisoning. I'm so ill. I'm so ill." And she went to the ER, and like low key, come to find out, she didn't have food poisoning. She was sick from Ozempic.
Mm.
But anyways, why was the Bachelorette crying for Rosie?
She cries too much. I want her gone. I know you like her because she's a normie. I
No,
need
I
her
mean,
gone.
she's a
She
little
cries
too
too
normal,
much.
I think. I think she's a little too normal. Like,
I mean, she
when,
was crying because nothing's ever happened to her in life, so it must be fucking nice.
well, even this episode where she was like, I'm crying because Rosie should be able to express herself, and she just, girl,
No, not even crying, bawling.
maybe she was emotional because her kid was sick.
And then crying about the kid. I'm sorry. maybe maybe it's because I have two earth sign parents. Like your dad didn't say he thought he was gonna die.
Well, I feel
Like
like this was a bit of a filler episode. Not too much happened. I mean, we had that Rosie or the news reporter girl. I can't tell them apart. So the news reporter girl
same
and
person.
the kept woman, they basically agree to disagree that they just need to get to know each other better so that they can stop misunderstanding each other.
Mhm.
We get Joe Ellen finally revealing what the issue is between her and her mother, because remember we
Thank
were trying to
God.
figure that out.
Because I love Joe Ellen, but I said, I need to know what your mom did or shut up about it. So
Yeah.
finding out what happened, I said, oh,
Yeah.
I'm afraid I am not on your mom's side, not even a little.
Yeah, and I mean, I know people that have been to those wilderness camps and stuff like that, behavioral or behavior correction camps and stuff. And like everybody I know that's ever gone to those has said, one, they just learned how to be worse kids there because they weren't
I
that
was gonna
bad to
say they're
begin
always
with.
worse.
Yeah, like the one person I can think of, they were like, I was not terrible to begin with, like in that way. And when I went there, I learned how to be terrible from kids that were far worse than I was.
Hmm.
So, we've heard like pretty famous people tell their experiences in places like that, like Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
So we obviously, and those places are like lawless. Like at the time when they were prevalent, there were no law, like they would always operate like in offshore places, like, New
The
Zealand, places like,
mountains.
yeah, like off the beaten path. So it was always lawless. And we know now that there was a lot of SA that went on there and manipulation, physical abuse, all kinds of things that happened to children. And to know that Joellen and her sister, were sent. And the only reason her mom got her back was because she was going to lose custody. And that's like where she drew the line. But
To
Joelle
me,
said she was there. The longest stint was a full year.
which is insane. To me, it's just a case of, and I feel like this is like always my issue with boomers and Gen X, and I see the issue really more with millennials. But boomers, because I have boomer parents. Well, my parents were into parenting, but I feel like a lot of boomer parents just didn't want to parent. If their child was bad, instead of dealing with it, they sent them away. And I've learned that with a lot of older people that are having kids that are like our age. So I had them a little older. And that's how I feel like maybe Joellen did one thing that teenagers do, and her mom was like, no, I'm sending you somewhere. Because I wasn't a bad child, but like I partied and stuff, and my parents just parented. Like, could you imagine if my parents just sent me away because I went to a party in high school? And they were
Yeah,
like
and I
on
don't
the
know if it's
DeLoreans.
like if this is real life, but I remember like the Maury show and stuff, and they would send kids to those camps. They'd come wake
Yep.
them up in the middle of the night and make a big deal out of it and all this stuff.
I
They're like
was like,
traumatizing.
I mean, my mom was famously nicknamed the Hammer because she was not afraid to parent and be up in my ass if I was, because I had a slick mouth and I liked to party. So my mom was always all up in my shit, parenting. And it's just like nobody wants to parent anymore. And then I feel like some millennial parents are trying to overcorrect for their parents, and then they're also too lax. So I'm just
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a whole
I
another
mean, not your sister
discussion.
because she be up in his ass if she needs to be. She parents. But
Yeah,
some
my sister
millennial
doesn't play.
parents, they don't want to parent anymore. It's like nobody wants to parent. And I felt so bad for Joellen and this whole mom situation. And it's such like to me, it's like an older thing. Like, oh, I'll just send my kid to this camp. And it's like, what if they were raping her?
Well, I think it's a hard topic to cross, right? Because when you talk about parenting and in the line of work that I do, like I work with the general public, children being one of them, or part of that. And when you have children that are what are considered problem children or children with behavioral issues that are not due to like, well, often it can be due to neurodivergency and disorders like that sometimes, but there are psych disorders that lie in children where they are maybe not as easy to parent as other
Mhm.
children. I don't think this is the same case with Joellen particularly. But there's a lot of gray area when it comes to those kinds of kids, and there's not a lot of resources out there to help parents with children that have like these behavioral issues. And
Hmm.
I see cases all the time where it's like this kid has been kicked out of six different schools. They can't go to another school in the district. The parents have to work. There's no programs. There's only so much a psychiatrist can do. Most people don't want their kids on psych meds. So it's like, what do you do? What does society do with a child
Hmm.
like that? What does the mother and the father do? And I mean, there's so many movies out there about things like this, like there's a movie called There's Something About, I forget the kid's name, something about Billy or something. And that's what it's about. It's about this kid that like always showed signs that he was kind of a sociopath, like wasn't super nice to his siblings and things like that. And it culminates in a really bad event that happens at the end of the movie. But you watch these parents struggle through trying to find resources, psychiatrist after psychiatrist, medication after medication. And it's just like, this is just a kid that has a lot of problems. And society abandons you when you have a
Hmm.
problem, kid. Teachers can't deal with them. There's only so many avenues you can go to. Again, I don't think that this was Joellen based off what Joellen's saying, but I do think it speaks to a larger issue where it's like, there are some kids that need extra help. And when they
Yeah.
don't get that help, it spirals into really catastrophic
Because
events like
parenting is
Columbine,
hard. It's so
Parkland.
hard. And I think
Yeah.
about, because I want to have kids eventually, but then I always think about, and I tell people it's like, you shouldn't have a kid if you want them to be perfect or you want them to be what you want them to be. And I always think about that when I say I want to have children. It's like, parenting, let's say like a standard child is not easy. And then let's say the child has a mental disorder or ADHD or whatever, something small or something extreme. It's like it's so hard and then you're regulating a little human's emotions and yours. And it's parenting is just such a weird, I think, thing. Not weird in a
For
bad way, but
me,
it's so complicated.
I like things that can give me tangible results, right? And
Hmm.
parenting does not give you that. Parenting is the one thing in life where you can do what you think is everything right
Hmm.
and
And they can
still
go
end up
left.
with a child that ends up in prison or commits a crime that they can't, that
Hmm.
ruins their life or just a terrible person at, you know what I mean? It's a really
You
a
could
roll of
you
the
could
dice.
literally textbook everything right, have the perfect two-parent household, or you can have a broken home and your child turns out great. You just never know. It's such a gamble and it's so nuanced. It's just
Yeah, it's
parenting, man.
not for me. Anyways, let's talk about Summer House.
I love Summer House. Okay, can I just say one thing? Amanda and West, you're sick. You are sick. You're sick.
Well, the episode
Sick.
starts off with the continuation of Kyle freaking out. And do you
I
remember?
have so many notes on Summer House. It's like insane.
I know. Do you remember on the internet, like years ago, like early YouTube days, there was this video that went around and it was called The Greatest Freakout Ever. And it was this guy, his brother would like play like games on the computer and he'd go downstairs and sabotage him on purpose. And his brother would lose his shit and like, you fucking idiot. Like he'd lose it. I promise you, Kyle Cook was acting just like this kid as he was freaking out.
I want to just put it out there, and I think I say this every time we record. I am Kyle Cook's number one fan. I have loved him since I saw him on TV. I met him and Carl, and this was after Carl got sober. It was like at a lover boy thing at a bar in Orange County. They were so nice. Like I talked to Kyle for probably 15 minutes. Carl came, left, came back. He's like, I'm so sorry I had to leave. I just wanted to say hi. So I love those boys, okay? They are like, mwah. But I will say when Kyle has his faults.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle seems like a likable guy, honestly, just watching him on TV. But what was hilarious, it was like so many things going on at once because it's like I had to watch the episode twice in order to like be able to properly talk about it because I had to take it all in first and then like
Yeah.
be able to like talk about it. And there's just so many good, laughable moments, like Kyle looking up at Carl and being like, "You 6'5" motherfucker." Like that was the only
The
thing he could
best
say.
part about that to me was not him saying 6'5" motherfucker. He says, "Hey Carl." And Carl says, "Yeah." Fuck you, you 6'5" motherfucker. Not need to say his name because you guys were already looking at
And
each
like
other,
because Kyle is so much shorter than him, he was like literally looking up at Carl as he was
cranking his
saying
neck.
it.
The craziest part to me when he said, "You Vagisil," I said, "Oh, this is what I mean. Like, Kyle is a good person because he doesn't want to offend women by calling him a vagina. So he said
He
Vagisil
referred to a vaginal product that causes
for an
yeast
itchy vagina.
infection.
He was
That,
basically calling him
but
annoying
in
like a
turn, it
yeast
gives you a
infection.
yeast infection.
Yeah,
It's
he was calling
insane.
him a yeast infection,
It was
basically. Like,
insane. Like it was just
but
crazy.
to
And
me, this, I feel like me and Denisha fight like sisters because we've been friends for so long.
mhm.
And I feel like this was like a sibling brother fight. It was kind of stupid, but had underlying things, and then
Well,
they got
because
over it.
Carl needs to stop being passive aggressive and
That's what I mean by
own.
the underlining.
Yeah.
Because he's like, "Oh, I'm not upset you didn't invest in Loverboy." Yes, you are.
But if you're
And
telling anybody that will listen that
all
you
summer.
are.
And we might understand why Kyle isn't investing, but that doesn't mean that you aren't allowed to have your feelings hurt. You can still have
Yeah.
hurt feelings, Carl. It's just like so, so dumb. But
Well, there's this account I follow called Your Bish Therapist, and she is a licensed therapist, and she basically like gives her licensed opinion on
oh, I
episodes from
love when
Bravo.
therapists do this.
And so I've been following her for a long time, and I was having a hard time articulating what I'm seeing Amanda do in real time, where it's like she throws the rock and hides her hand and lets everybody fight her battles. And so she did a great synopsis of this on her page today or yesterday. So I wanted to just read it. So she goes, Amanda is making me feel bad for Kyle, and that's wild, but here we are. Kyle gets into a cycle of internalizing painful emotions, self-medicating with alcohol, and acting out, rinse and repeat. The problem with this method is feelings may be valid, but they lead to behaviors that are not. Last week, I observed Amanda quietly manipulating the cast into speaking and fighting on her behalf. Triangulation occurs when two people involved in conflict attempt to involve a third party. Triangulation is usually a manipulation strategy used to avoid conflict and retain control. Amanda is triangulating people into her relationship so she doesn't have to do the psychological heavy lifting. And that's literally what we've seen her do all season. You're going and you're bitching with
Since day
Ciara.
one. Since let's take it
Yeah,
all the way back to day one. I
yeah.
have never liked Amanda because she's whiny. I don't like whiny people. Then I've noticed she loves to play the victim. I cannot stand a grown ass woman who wants to play the victim. And this is what pissed me off with as much as I love Kyle, it pissed me off with him too. They have been the same people since day one. They have never changed. They got married, and I think a lot of people think because you get married, you're going to change. No, people don't change. They are who they are, especially when you get married 30 and like 35 or whatever the fuck, Carl. I think they're like 9 years apart. They have been the same people. So do not now get mad that Kyle stays out and drinks all the time. He's always done that. Do not get mad because Amanda's lazy. She's always been lazy.
Yeah. And this is why I was mad at Ciara for saying anything to Kyle about the separation because when
Oversight?
Lindsay went over and told Amanda that basically, he's now aware of that, and that's kind of what led to his blow up more than anything.
Yeah.
Amanda goes, yeah, I told her he wasn't gonna go for that. And then she says in her confessional, The thing about Ciara is she often says out loud what I'm thinking. In my opinion, this is the point where Amanda said to herself, I don't consider this bitch my friend. I asked her not to say anything because low key, Amanda told Ciara like he's not going to be with that. And
Yeah.
to me, that was her drawing the line and being like, okay, like enough with the separation talk. Like, I didn't say all that. But you said
Hmm.
enough to make Ciara still believe that that's
And
what you want.
Sierra thinks she's being a good friend
To
and
you
helping.
both. To you
Yes,
both.
exactly. She thinks she's being a good friend and helping the situation where she overstepped. Lindsay overstepped. Honestly, they have, by they, I mean Amanda and Wes, they have gotten away with this because everyone in that house is so incestual and they just enmesh. It's too much enmeshment. It's just too much where them doing certain things and being touchy is seen as normal. So they were
That's what
able to get away with it.
me and my sister, as we were watching it, and like we have these conversations with each other, because for those that don't know, I have like my life's fantasy and I live with my sister. We live together.
Mhm.
Um, and we watch these shows together, and I like as we're watching Summer House, we're saying to each other, okay, let's watch this as if we don't know about West
I
and
really
Amanda,
have to
right?
remind myself that, but it's very hard.
And it's like the problem with this entire situation, and it was similar with Scandival, is because you guys are way too comfortable and you cross so many boundaries with each other as far as relationships and
Hmm.
marriages go. If I didn't know what I know about West and Amanda, I would still be having this internal conflict where I'm like, nah, you're not seeing that, Sheree. That's just how they all are. They're all touchy-feely.
So for me, what I still would have found very inappropriate, not him moving his chair over there. I would have let that go.
Sure.
It was the hug where I said sick. I literally screamed at my TV, sick. You guys are sick because I'm a single woman and I have some single male friends. We have never hugged like that.
Well, even Carl went on Watch What Happens Live last night,
Yes. And
and he
he, the
was
side
like,
boob.
yeah, he was just like, you
My,
don't embrace a married woman by the midriff. First of all, I don't hug any of my friends' husbands front on at all.
no.
I don't hug them
I
front
am
on.
very close with one of my best friend's husbands. And when I hug him, even if I hug him like front on, if that makes more sense, we're not body to body.
You do the booty push.
Yeah,
You tilt your
we're like
booty out.
hugging. I 99% of the time I hug him like this, like, and I love that man, like, but that's not my friend.
Yeah.
Like, you're my best friend's man, and you treat her well, so I really like you and I fuck with you. But like, we're not hugging like that because that's
Yeah.
inappropriate.
I thought it was weird on Married to Medicine on the season that Greg and his new wife were on, and Quad saw him for the first time and asked his wife, "Do you mind if I hug him around the neck?" No, bitch, don't hug him around the neck. Hug him from the side like we're at church, ho. No, don't hug my man around the neck. I don't care if
Because
we're married to
that's,
him.
you know who I hug around the neck? Lovers.
It's
Do you know what
weird.
men have held me by my lower back and kissed me? A lover.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
My brothers don't hug me like that.
But listen, was it not hilarious? Kind of, well, I found it humorous that like Kyle was it was very important to him for him and Carl to get to the other side of this. But every
His
time
brother.
someone mentioned making up with Amanda, that is where he drew the line. Like when
He was
Carl
like,
was like, "You need to make up with Amanda," he starts running down the list of like, "She's never happy to see me. We haven't had sex in 7 years." Like basically, no man, don't make me make up with
7
her.
years? People have said they've only been married for 4.
And people have done the math on Reddit, and they were like 7 years goes back to when they got fucking engaged.
But I think remember, I'd have to go back and watch. I feel like I remember her saying they hadn't had sex in a long time when they were planning the wedding.
Yeah, and I just always chopped all this up to because all they've talked about for the last like 4 years is how deeply Amanda struggles with depression and
Hmm.
that, honestly, I'm just gonna say it. I feel like the bond Paige, Ciara, and Amanda had for a long time was that they were all in some kind of way dealing with emotional depression issues.
Yeah, honestly.
Honestly, because like
Yes.
when you think, and I used to
Yes.
listen to Ciara and Maya used to have a podcast, and I used to listen to
Hmm.
their podcast, and a lot of their podcast was about how like they struggled emotionally and they were trialing different antidepressants to help get them out of their heads
Because
and stuff.
I was not a fan of Ciara until about a season or so ago. And I think it's because she was depressed. I did not like her. I've always thought she was fine. Like obviously she's
Hmm.
gorgeous. I liked her enough, but I
Hmm.
was never like captivated with her. And then I think like last season, I think it might have been the season first with West. I could tell her personality was like she had one.
Well, I think what happened, and this is
And
just,
I think
I
she
mean,
got on depressed.
this is just me thinking. I think they all got a cocktail of medication that works for them,
Yeah,
and they're no longer depressed. Therefore, they have nothing in common anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Sierra has nothing in common with a woman who's on the verge of divorce. They don't have
but
anything in
that's why
common.
Ciara and Paige are actively friends. And
Right.
Hannah. As much
Right.
as I can't stand Hannah. But Amanda, people have made a good note because I have always hated Amanda, so I kind of just don't really like she's not really in my orbit.
You know what?
So
I didn't hate Amanda. She just did nothing for me. She was just there. Like she just never did
I
anything for me.
can't stand a whiny bitch. And by bitch, I mean man or woman. I can't stand someone that whines. And I think it's because in my house, you weren't allowed to cry, you weren't allowed to show emotion, you weren't allowed to whine. So I think I have like a low tolerance for whininess. And Kyle.
Well, she's just
Oh,
always kind of made
brother.
like I've always just kind of seen her as like Kyle's plus one. Like I know she's part of the cast, but she's never come off that way to me. And she
Well,
never had a
because
personality until Paige came around.
she only knew these people via Kyle. She would have never been cast because
Yeah,
she's boring.
she's just
And
never
she
done
wasn't
anything
friends with
for
them.
me. Well, also, I mean, Sierra saying that West was the most, what was it? Not the most important
The
person in
person
the
she
show.
loved the most, I will never forget it because it was so insane.
Like, I would have expected her to say Amanda before I expected her to say Kyle. I mean, sorry, Kyle, West.
If she said KJ, I wouldn't have been as shocked and gooped
Because
and
the thing
gagged.
is this, Courtney, this man is doing the bare minimum. He's giving you barely anything, and you are swooning for him. He has given Amanda more action post their talk in this episode than he has
Mhm.
given Ciara. The embraces he's giving Amanda is far more than what he's giving to Ciara in these
So,
moments.
this is a theory I have because this episode has been weighing heavily on my. I think Wes and Amanda had started something, physical or not. They had started in an inappropriate relationship. And I think because West, while I think he's a bad person, I think he has like a conscience to him. So I think he's like acting weird with Ciara because he knows he has something going on with Amanda and he's feeling bad about it.
Mm.
Because he is being,
Deflection. He's throwing like
yes,
smoke and mirrors.
isn't he being extra cold with Ciara all of a sudden? Like low key cold.
Well, what's interesting is it's not that he's being cold, he's being performatively cool with her. Like I'm not buying what he's selling.
To
Sierra's
me,
buying it, but it's like it's not landing as real to me. And it's probably because I do know whatever. But also if I compare to how like he was with Sierra when he was just smitten with her a few
exactly.
seasons ago, this is not giving that at all.
Thank you. That's why I think him and Amanda had something going on, and now he feels bad. And what Wes cares about most in life is how he is perceived.
Yeah.
So he's trying to be cool with Ciara, make it like copacetic but you could tell when he touches her and stuff, he low-key cringes. And
Yeah.
she is a drop dead most gorgeous woman I've ever seen.
She's
So
the
for you to
prettiest
be
girl in that
cringe,
house. I'm just gonna throw that
literally,
out there. And that,
when
I mean, that's
you
not saying a lot. Those girls are gorgeous,
no,
but
they're all gorgeous, but Ciara looks like ethereal. So
yeah.
when you cringe when she's hugging you, a bad bitch, I'm
Yeah.
a little confused because even if you don't like her, any man with blood running through his body who likes women, even a gay man would be like, ooh. And he's like, it's like
Jesse is
on,
dying to breathe the same air as Ciara.
it's like, it's weird. I was like, oh, you and Amanda had something going on and you felt bad about it because now you and Ciara are friends. It was all cool and fun when Ciara hated you, so it was easy to fuck with her best friend.
I'm trying to
Now that
think
she
about my
doesn't,
best friend's husband hugging and embracing me in those ways, and it's making my skin crawl.
no, I would scream help.
Like like grabbing the back of my head. That is so intimate.
Touching hair is very, especially the scalp.
Yeah.
He didn't touch hair down here because I love to play with my friends' hair, especially the ones that have like really long, thick hair. I'll just be like, "Oh, your hair's so pretty down here." I have never once in my life done this because I don't want to fuck them. You know?
Yeah, and also I'm the kind of like person I don't give off that you can touch me in that way. Like I never give that off to
Men
other men,
will
to other
only
women.
touch you the way you are open to it, unless they're like a predator or like
Yeah.
but like a regular man, he's touching you like that because he can, because he knows it's okay. He knows you've given him the open. They're sick. But okay, remember how I told you a couple weeks back that people like Wes because he has a lesbian vibe to him and he has like a black thing about him.
Hmm.
And then he goes, I look like a lesbian today. And I'm like, that is your whole style is a white lesbian, like the white lesbian stud equivalent
Didn't
to
you
a
find
stud.
it weird that he waits until Dara, whatever her name is by herself and compliments her outfit?
Says this is the hottest outfit I've seen in the house.
And then KJ's like online right
That's
now,
weird.
like none of my other bros would ever hit on my girl like behind my
PJ, enough.
back. But I'm like,
Enough.
hey, KJ, your girl entertained it though, bro. Your girl didn't like walk away from the
Was giddy.
conversation. She
She
was
said, oh my
giddy
God,
about
dap
it.
me up, bro. That's exactly why I don't fuck with Dara.
Now, I will say she redirected the conversation to Ciara, but
Yes.
at
I
some
mean, I
point
don't think Dara wants West.
no, I think obviously
He's
she
a
doesn't
loser.
want West, but I just feel like maybe West is a Drake ass bitch. Like maybe he just likes going after other guys' girls.
I've heard a lot of the podcasts I listen to say that. And makes sense.
Yeah,
He likes
'cause-
because West is not, and I okay, so at the beginning of this season, I thought West liked Ciara. And
sure.
I said, I think West actually really likes Ciara, but he is not mature for her. That he is not matured enough. West is very immature, and he from his the whole reason why they have beef is him saying, I want to be able to fuck other girls.
Well,
Huh?
West is one of those guys that peaked in college. And
Oh,
he
see,
was
I think he's peaked now.
oh
I
no,
don't think he peaked in college.
the reason why I say college is because in college he was like a star athlete from what I understand. He went to a D1 school, he played on a D1
The
team.
D1?
I'm pretty sure.
It's
Or
giving
did he go to
D2.
Montana State University? Is that D1?
I don't, it's not like LSU, UCLA,
Okay, well,
Austin.
he was a college athlete, is my point.
Yes.
Now he struggles to even keep a day job. I mean, he's on TV now, so whatever. I guess he has that going for him. But prior to that, we watched him his first season struggle with the fact that he was chronically unemployed. He's
Okay, where's
hanging
your
on to this
mom?
podcast But after this all, circles the drain, you're going to be just like Tom Sandoval on House of Villains. Because similar to Tom Sandoval, you can't shut the fuck up in real time and let this die down a little bit. You just keep talking.
Because they both don't want to seem bad. So, okay, he did go to a D1 school, but it's not like, you know, you know, it's
It was
not,
it MSU, Montana
yeah,
State.
it is D1, but even in the divisions, you have tiers. Um, so why I say he's peaking now, post this thing, because I mean, he was with a bunch of black dudes. I'm sure they were getting way more play than him. We saw what his hair looked like when he first came in.
Well, I was
He's
gonna
really
say
feeling
too, like
himself.
I don't think he's like as much of an I don't think he's much of a as much of an ally as he's like performing to be. I think that you've had proximity to black people because you played football and a lot of black men play football. And a lot of black men get scholarships to white ass schools to do it. And they meet motherfuckers like you. And
Hmm.
I think that's your proximity to blackness. Like I don't think he's who people think he is. I don't think that you're this, feminist just because your mom is a gynecologist. I think these are all just things, again, like Danny from the Valley. This is the new asshole. This is how they're packaged. They're packaged as these
Hmm.
performative nice guys. A lot of them are into crystals. A lot of them like to text you in the morning and say, Grand Rising
Crystals.
Queen. This
This
is
is
how
my
they're
thing with
packaged.
West. I don't think West necessarily goes for black women.
Me either. Me
But
either.
obviously, Ciara is so hot, she reaches. There are people who are so hot, everyone likes them regardless of your preference.
Well,
Ciara is one of those.
also, Sierra's not exactly Natalie Nunn. Like Sierra
Yes,
doesn't carry herself in a way that
yes,
white
she's a
people
very
perceive
like,
black women. So
yes, you
she's
could tell she grew up
passable in that way. You can
well.
introduce her to your
She's,
white parents and they will
mhm.
take her in well.
But even not even getting to her personality, and you could tell she was raised right. She's obviously very educated. She's a nurse. Um, she's just the kind of pretty that is pretty universally. And I think when she drew boundaries, West was like, but I'm a white man, you
Yeah.
know, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree I agree with that. And that's why I
And
say
she's
like
been paying for it
that's why what I mean by
ever
like
since.
his proximity to blackness is
Hmm.
not what people think it is. It's like,
Yeah, no, I'm
yeah,
agreeing.
I have black guy friends, but like I don't think that he's the type that like the first time he gets mad, he calls you the N-word, but I think the first time you piss him off, yeah, he'll fuck your bitch or
And Ciara is paying for it that she did not just let it go. And this is what PSA to all women. I don't care if you've met a man's mom, if you've met every sister he has, if you've met his grandma, if he's taken you to a family reunion, that means nothing to men.
Well,
Nothing.
again, it's packaged.
Nothing.
It's in this nice guy package. This is
So to
what they're
her,
selling
I
now.
met his family. He took me to a wedding. Men are women. That means nothing. My dad used to be like, how come, or do you date? And I was like, yeah, I date all the time. He's like, why haven't I met them? I was like, why do you need to meet every Tom, Dick, and Harry?
Did
I
you
said, I think that's
see?
weird. And my dad was like, huh, yeah, I guess that is. Because men introduce everybody to everybody.
Well, I
So
don't
it's
know.
good.
I don't agree with that necessarily. I think a particular kind of man treats that like a non-sacred experience. It has not been, I have not experienced men introducing me to their families for no reason. And I haven't experienced my friends having met other people's parents for no reason. When I tell you this is new game that's being run, this is all very new to me, how people just bring people home with no regard to how this is going to affect this person, what it's going to make you look like to your family. This is all new game. And it also tells me a lot about how you're raised because my mom would never think that's okay. Like not and I'm this is not going at you. I'm talking about West. My mom would not ever think it's she'd be like, "No, wait a minute. Who are you taking seriously and who are you not? Because you just had another girl over to this farm because he took
But see,
Ciara home from
I
the
don't even
farm."
think it's I don't think it's a parenting thing. I think it's a man thing because
No,
his
my
mom
what
probably,
I'm saying by parenting is I would not do that because my mom would not allow that. My mom would
Mhm.
be like, "What are you doing?" It would not be encouraged for me to do that. So my point is West's family clearly doesn't care because I would not keep doing something like that if my mom was like, "Girl, don't bring another nigga over here." You hear what I'm
Well,
saying?
they're also not black.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. I really don't. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think it has to do with respect for your parents at the end of the day.
No, 100%. But what I'm seeing is different colors of families just operate differently.
No, I agree with that. But I think that there's certain things like introducing people to your family that are sacred across color lines.
Oh, I think it's very sacred. But what I'm saying in like now, today's day and age, I just I don't think men take it as serious as it is. It's a to me,
Well, then
I'm not
women need to
introducing
wisen
anybody.
up and
No,
learn,
100%.
like, especially, you have to just learn how to read certain situations. And
Just because
when it
he's
came
taking you
down to
home,
Ciara and West the first time when they were dealing with each other the first time, West threw all kinds of red flags on the plays with
exactly.
Ciara that she chose to ignore. Even in the conversations that they're having this season when they're reconciling, he is only pissed about how he was perceived. All of
Exactly. And
their
that's what I mean.
conversations were surrounding, well, my family was thinking this about me because basically you
Hmm.
wouldn't retract the fact that you felt like I did you dirty. And because of that, I took the hit. You suffered the consequences of your actions.
And that's what I mean by a man taking you home doesn't mean anything because you can't look at that as, oh, these other things were kind of like, maybe a little yellow flags, but I met his mom and his dad and his siblings. No, you need to look at everything. Just because he took you home doesn't mean to ignore these other flags because meeting parents is very serious in my book, at least. I think I've introduced one man to my family.
Well, we're also girls. It's a little
Yeah.
different as women. We're perceived differently if you bring
Hmm.
home a bunch of different men to your family.
Yeah.
But obviously you have brothers. I have brothers. I still don't think if my brother was bringing home a bunch of women that my mom would be like, no, yeah, everybody can come to Sunday dinner. Eventually, my mom is like the kind of mom I have. She's going to be like, don't bring another bitch over here. When you're ready to get married, bring her over here. I'm not going to
Hmm.
entertain all this. Because respect for women. That's what we're teaching around here.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Men are weird. I want Wes to be edited out. I can't.
Well,
I
I am
can't.
curious, and I mean, then we can, I guess, wrap up because we've been rambling for 2 hours. But I am curious, like, where the show goes from here. Do we think Sierra's coming back next season? I really don't think she's going to.
Well, she said I'm not leaving just because of Wes and Amanda. She said that. So,
Oh, okay. Well, she did say that. She did. She did. I
wait,
just
don't you think Sabrina would have been really funny at that dinner?
Yeah, I did hear Ben say like she's waiting at the hotel. And I've always wondered when it comes to Summer House, so are there significant others like only able to stay like one night a summer, like
I figured that from him saying she's at a hotel
waiting to
because
come to the party specifically?
yeah, I think it has to be more like interacting with the cast. And you can't just keep having someone come every weekend, staying the whole weekend. And then
Yeah,
clearly, I think Levi was so boring, they let Dara come every weekend. I think she became, because I saw a picture
because I guess
where
that's my
Levi,
question. Like, how did Derek get away with being able to be
I
there?
I think it's only because like by the skin of her teeth because Levi was so boring and they needed more interaction
Hmm.
because in the last cast picture that's going around, Levi's not there, but Dara is.
People online are saying they think Levi is Bailey's imaginary friend. That only Bailey can see her.
She's so boring. I couldn't even tell you what her voice looked like. If she walked into my house right now, I would not clock that's Levi from Summer House. I'd be like,
No,
"Who are you,
no,
stranger?"
no. I I again I'm just gonna say I love Bailey and Carl. I like I said, I think that they're gonna hard launch at the reunion.
Well, someone said no. I'm thinking of Jesse Solomon. He has a girlfriend.
Oh, does he?
She's on tour with them, Washington State.
Oh. Oh, he took her on the road. Okay. Wait, side
But
note.
I do want Bailey and Carl to be together.
Don't you think it's a little weird that Raquel James from no, not Raquel. James from Vanderpump Rules ex-girlfriend, not Raquel, the
Oh,
one he had.
Allie?
Yeah, isn't it weird how she's kind of everywhere now?
Yeah, she lives in Charleston.
She's in Charleston. She was in last night's episode of Southern Hospitality, and I think she's on The Perfect Match or one of those Netflix dating shows this
No,
season.
she got with James to be on TV.
And then he's
She
having a
never left that.
baby.
I
You
follow
didn't
him
see
on
that?
Instagram.
Oh yeah,
James Kennedy?
yeah, I saw, and he's only been with his girlfriend like 4 months, I think they said. He's having a baby.
I follow him. How did I not see them?
I don't know if he announced it, but people said it that he's expecting a child.
Are you sure it's not Peter?
No, I'm positive it's James Kennedy
Now I
expecting
gotta
a
go on the
child.
dark web and do a deep dive.
Girl, I mean, it's not on the dark web, it's on the light web. I'm
No,
telling
Reddit
you,
is the dark web in my house.
I'm telling you, and I like people don't know much about his girlfriend or whatever, but let me see. James Kennedy,
It's not on his Instagram. Not saying it's
child.
not.
Yeah, it says Ali Luber shocked after James Kennedy baby news. Didn't know he had a girlfriend. Expecting baby with new girlfriend. It's on TMZ. They've only been together 7 months.
God bless.
So she got pregnant on the first try, it sounds like. That's crazy. Well, good
Oh
luck
my
with
God.
that. We will see you guys next week, where hopefully we
Bye.
have listened to the new Drake album and we can talk about that.
I will listen.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. I can't believe he's having a baby.